Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
This is our second episode of the
WandaVision
WandaVision
Aftershow.
Aftershow. And happy here today. So, if you're new here, welcome. This is a Han Talks First channel. It's a Star Wars channel, but we're mixing it up a little bit and adding some Marvel to the mix. So, this is the first of two Marvel themed shows. So, we'll probably do more coming first. Yeah. So yes, I'm Han, the host of the main channel and of the show, and the co-host is my girlfriend Rice Crispy.
That would be me.
You can check out our social medias down in the little quote bubbles below, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter and
All the stuff.
all the stuff. Yeah, wherever you want to. So yeah, today we did episodes 1 and 2 in their own video last Friday, since they both came out the same day, and today we're talking about episode 3. But before we get into that, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty okay. I'm glad to be here with you and talking about a cool show. I'm just so it's hard to wait for next week. So it's good to talk about it so we can at least process what's happened so far and just what we can hope for coming up.
Yeah, we both, after this episode ended, were like, just
really.
It's hard. And then I made the comment that it's harder to wait a week for this show than it was for Mandalorian.
I know, it's just saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I was like, when Mandalorian was airing, I'm just like, can it be Friday yet? Please. And I was like, especially once we got 2 episodes the first time around, now I'm just like, wait, it ended so quickly. No, go back. I want to be like Wanda and like rewind and make people think that everything glitched and that the internet was failing.
Yeah, it definitely has that lost grabber effect to it where it just makes you want to come back every single week. So we're going to break everything down and give you our thoughts and discuss with you guys. So if you're interested in giving your opinions or asking any questions, just put it in the live chat below. I will warn you all, this is going to contain all the spoilers for the show and the entire MCU. Yeah, we're gonna talk about everything. There's no, we're not holding back. So if you haven't watched it, come back and watch it later. Unless you don't care, then stick around.
Living through, like, you don't really care to watch, but you want to know.
Yeah,
really get the feeling, but not for this. This I need to watch.
Like how she does with all the animes. She like she watches videos about them all before she.
I watch anime. I do that more with like horror movies, to be honest, because I'm scared of watching them. But then I like find out what happens, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get murdered by this ghost that I don't know anything about. Sorry. Anyway, let's go. And WandaVision episode 3.
So yes, this episode is all about Wanda's pregnancy and how it fritzes her powers, and she and Vision have to prepare for an accelerated delivery. Again, this episode, like last week's, like all the episodes coming forward, are directed by Matt Shackman and written by him and the creator, Jack. What is her name again?
I forgot.
Anyway, Jack Schaefer, I believe. I think it's Jack Schaefer, which is actually a woman, which I didn't look into last time. So that's kind of cool to find out about.
It kind of does make sense in a way for like the more sensibilities and like how many of the jokes were like, especially in this episode, we're kind of calling out how like in the 70s and like other decades, I mean, still kind of today, but like mostly then people would kind of like underestimate women and be like, oh, women don't know anything about pregnancy. A man has to tell her what's going to happen. And she's like, it's like, what is happening to my body though?
So let's start up with general thoughts. What do you think?
I was kind of confused at first because it was pretty much only sitcom, but like with the whole like.
You say sitcom? So it was, you were confused it was only sitcom?
So at first it seemed like it was going to be mostly sitcom, but with their like with the stick of like WandaVision. I'm like, when's the plot kicking in? And then it hit hard. So at first I'm just like, oh, I'm just getting a little bit nervous because there's just a lot of like pregnancy jokes and just the pregnancy going really fast.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like how the last 2 episodes had, like one had a talent show story vibe and the other one had a, what was the first story? Oh, making dinner.
Boss,
yeah. And this one, it was just about the pregnancy.
Yeah. And the thing is like, like you were saying, this episode had way less like set like changes,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
was cool because it was a bit more contained, more like kind of like a bottle episode, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm just like, wait, but like, how will they find out more stuff about their world if they don't go outside? But they actually made it work because like the first thing that I noticed was like really weird was when the guy was cutting the grass, but he was cutting the fence, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
And Vision's like, "You all right, buddy?" He's like, "Yeah."
That was weird.
It was. I feel like the NPCs are starting to catch on that something's weird.
Definitely, he was probably snooping.
Yeah.
And then accidentally cut the brick or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one was modeled after 70s style. We're having a pattern. The first one was 50s, second one 60s. Now we're at 70s in color, which is a nice twist at the end of that the previous episode. And you were saying this one had Partridge Family and Brady Bunch vibes, and I know you love the intro.
It was so cute. And I love the visuals and like the songs. Like it just really did hit the vibe like right there without being like directly a parody and like ripping off the melodies or anything. It just took the feeling and made it its own, which I really enjoy. That's so far what they've been doing. And the team writing the music is so talented. Like, I mean, I know they wrote Book of Mormon, they wrote like Frozen, like they know what they're doing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's Kristen Anderson Lopez and her
husband.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Wow.
And they even wrote the theme at sorry. They even wrote the theme at the end.
Oh wow. Yeah, I really
I forgot to mention that.
I really love the music. It I wish I like could get to write like that. Like you don't, it's not like, it's more than just writing an original piece, but you have to like match a certain decade of music, and I think that's a little bit more fun creatively to try and recreate. But the music's good, and I like they did a new song for this new opening, similar to how the other ones had only one, right? Or did they have two different songs?
So they had a different opening song for each one.
They did,
the one where he carries her into the thing, and then the second one's like, WandaVision.
That's right. Okay.
And then this, I'm very excited. I don't know which one they're gonna do for the 80s, but I'm really excited for the 90s intro and having me like everywhere worms and like looking at the camera and being just like, wow, too many cooks, kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. So on top of this was like Brady Bunch style, mostly modeled after that, because the set itself was
the stairs and everything. Like,
I love
design is gorgeous.
I love this set, not just the production quality of it, but also the like how it all tied in with like her powers going out of whack, and like the paintings were moving, and it was a well put together set. And on top of the Brady Bunch, I did find this out on IMDb, but the doll that Vision is using to practice his diaper changing is actually the same exact doll from the Brady Bunch, called Kitty Carol from Carryall. Yeah, that's right. Kitty Carryall from the Brady Bunch. So a nice little Easter egg. Yeah, that was really cool. And I don't know, was there anything else about the opening or the overall aesthetic about this show that really hit you?
I mean, the outfit choices and everything, just like the opening wasn't exactly kind of like the Brady Bunch, or like, for example, the Partridge Family, the opening's all animation. It's like,
it is.
They're barely in it. It's more like, is it hello world, so I'm saying, and you have the little partridge with her little partridge babies, and I think you have like David Cassidy be like, hi, or something. But like, it's like the Brady Bunch you've seen, where it's like all the squares. I mean, Jersey did a parody of that.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, that was really cool.
It wasn't exactly that, although I did like how they brought in, like, I know how you're going to bring that up later, but they did do the square thing, but they changed it up, made it hexagons, and made it more like visually different, but they still had like different scenes of them in the real world, kind of just like out here eating ice cream on a tandem bike, just being really goddamn adorable. And I was just, they were like, oh, they're so cute, and you're just like, yeah, they're really cute. I'm just like,
talk about the thing with the hexagons that we have here. So
Yes. So I thought the hexagons was more like a hex thing because she's a witch, but turns out that it's a reference to villains from the Marvel universe called AIM. So that stands for Advanced Idea Mechanics, and their logo is made out of hexagons. So that also ties it in. They've been putting a lot of Easter eggs in the openings. Like last week, we forgot to mention they had like a corpse, like in the and they had like the helmet for one of the villains.
Oh, they
And
did?
when they go to the supermarket, you can see the cat that the Agnes character as a witch has in like the comics.
Oh.
And there's like Wonder Man, and like there's a lot of like tiny things that you like miss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never have guessed.
So I'm kind of wondering what else they hid in the background for this. I haven't. I need to check whenever they upload it to YouTube so I can watch it in times. Be like,
Yeah. So yeah, the hexagon thing is very interesting because
mm-hmm.
like she just said, it introduces AIM, which I don't think has been in
I don't think
Marvel
so.
yet. So it's kind of jumping around all over the place. But at the end, when the Monica Rambeau character is thrown out of this realm, parallel dimension, something, this dome looking thing, and there's all these soldiers that come around her and surround her, is that AIM? And maybe Sword is trying to infiltrate whatever AIM is doing.
Because yeah, AIM. I mean, Sword is watching, so maybe she's like kind of like a mole. But
That's what
maybe
I
it
would
is
think.
made by AIM, and that's maybe AIM is like intergalactic, and that's why Sword is involved and not Shield.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, it's very interesting. Let's get back to it. But first, let's talk about the whole like the sitcom aspect of it with the pregnancy and stuff like that. I thought it
Oh,
was cute. There were parts of it where I was kind of like you said, just kind of waiting for a more
someone
a
to kick in.
story to kind of like how the last two episodes were. Not
Mm-hmm.
to say this one was bad in any way, but
Oh, it
it
was
just,
good. It took a while to get
yeah, it
there.
was different. And the one thing I really loved about it was just the look of the camera and
Yes.
just how this show was shot digitally. Yet
Mm-hmm.
they still managed to make it look like it's from these time periods, and not just the aspect ratio, but it looks like it's shot on film.
Like the graininess almost,
Yeah,
but there's like quality, but also like the texture
yeah,
of Yaba.
and
Sorry,
and part of
had to
that
make it.
is because they run it through a Panasonic anamorphic
Mm.
like remastering, like when they
Oh.
master the film. But it's more than just that, because it's also the look on the camera itself, like the way they blur out the backgrounds like they do, and we interact with the storks when the storks
Mm.
came in, and it
That was
it
so
didn't
cool.
it felt like it fit. It didn't look too fake,
Right.
but it still matched that time period. And then what, back to the camera mechanics and stuff, when it switched aspect ratio at the end from the 141 to, I think it's 1.23 to 1, and it opened up to the widescreen. That's, I love when
That was
any
so
movie or
cool.
show does that. That's like something I get
Yeah.
giddy about,
Because it
especially
goes like this and you go
yeah,
like
like when Mandalorian did it last season in the first episode, and it just like, it's usually done to like show like there's a bigger world out there.
Mhm.
Like when in the Mandalorian, when they did it when they got to the Great Dragon's home, to show like this thing is huge, so get ready, like we're gonna open it up a little
Right.
bit. And then this one did it again to show like
How far like Monica got yeeted out the house.
yeeted, but it show that there's
She
a
got yoked.
bigger world outside of this sitcom land that we're
Mhm.
living in. And I don't know, so just the way this looks aesthetically is one of my favorite things about the show.
Mhm.
um but yeah, the jokes were cute. I
It was
really,
really
it
cute.
really fits the style. This Matt Shackman and Jack Schaefer like do an amazing job of
Mhm.
just making it feel like it's from that time period. I don't know how they do
Even.
that. They obviously grew up with these shows,
Mhm. They
but
probably own
it's,
like the box sets and everything, and just
yeah.
have like they probably also had like a before to kind of like
Oh
pin
yeah.
down what to keep,
Oh
but
yeah.
also how to update it for audiences now, which I'm really thankful for because it's so well done and it doesn't feel dated in like the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
dated as in like you can literally imagine this being released then. It's just off enough and also updated and like brought for like the real world now.
There was one thing I thought about when what during this show, like, because the first two episodes I was thinking, okay, anybody even if you haven't watched Marvel before, can probably watch this show. But once episode 3 starts,
I don't know. Not so
it's
much anymore.
no, because the first one's it really it could have been its own standalone thing, but this one they introduced the fact that Wanda and Vision backstory, not
Yes.
her siblings and all. Sorry, the camera went out, guys. Just
One
give me 1
second.
second.
There
Okay,
you
there
go.
we go. I'm
Yay.
using an EOS webcam utility, obviously, as you just saw. So it's not really made for
Exposed.
my camera. I have a really old DSLR, but it's better than webcam. So
That is true.
anyway, but one part that made me think, okay, someone who's like an everyday person who hasn't seen Marvel before can't watch this, because when the lights started to flicker,
Yeah.
and Wanda and Vision got back to back, and she started going like this, and Vision did as well. And it's
And I'd
like,
be like,
okay, if you didn't know who these people, if you didn't see any MCU movies before, you'd be like, what the hell are they doing?
like extra silly.
It looks weird.
They play it to be silly here too, because they're kind of more like,
Mhm.
and they make it kind of like when people get scared and they're like, "Ooh,"
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah,
But actually plays it because that's kind of their poses. More Wanda.
yeah,
Vision's more
because she
like,
does like the
like the
ball
hexagon
thing. Yeah,
thingy, kind of like Doctor
Yeah.
Strange, and like
Yeah.
like the little energy
Yeah.
magic.
So since I mentioned the twins, why don't you talk about? So there was a Wanda and Vision when this whole episode is about them finding out that Wanda just miraculously becomes pregnant, and it's one of the running jokes is that she keeps like growing by the second, and Vision's
Literally.
like, what the hell is going on?
Right, because like she was pregnant at like the end of last episode and she had like the tiny bump, and they're like, wait, does this mean what? And then so basically this episode is like pretty much the next day, if anything. And she's
Yeah.
already like 4 months pregnant. And they're like, how does this happen? And the doctor's like, well, when a man loves a woman very, very much. And they're like, yeah. Like, also, like, I thought that was pretty funny because, like, if they're pregnant, I think they know why. But literally, she was already 4 months pregnant, and it had been like 12 hours they had said since then. So it had been the like half day. And
one of my favorite jokes was when he was like doing the math, like how long until the baby comes, and she's like, at this rate, they'll beat you before you figure it out. And he was like, by next Friday.
Oh my god,
that was funny.
And then it wasn't even that.
It was same damn day.
And then I also thought it was really cute how like not how the doctor was being like comparing it to fruits, which is a real thing, strangely enough.
Oh yeah.
But then he's like, I can't wait to be a papa, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's so stupid. He's already making dad jokes. I love it.
She loves word puns, so that was kind of tailored to her.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about in the comics and the parallels between the children now and in the comics.
So in the comics, it does tie in because they do have twins. WandaVision do have twins, and it's, I mean, a scientific fact that twins are more susceptible to making more twins. I don't know why exactly that is. I honestly forgot. I don't know if I ever found out why. It's just something that's very interesting. But they mentioned their names that when they were trying to figure out when they thought they were going to have one kid, should they name the kid Tommy? Should they name the kid Billy? And they were kind of fighting about like what would be the perfect name for the kid. And Vision's like, oh, William Shakespeare. And she's like, oh, Tommy's an American name. But Billy and Tommy are the names of their kids in the comics. And their kids grow up to be Speed and Wiccan. So when Scarlet Witch, when Wanda's like, oh my god, I want him to be named Tommy, she's referencing Speed, which ties in with her love for Pietro, her who hasn't been mentioned since Age of Ultron, rest in peace. And when Vision's like, oh, but I like Billy, he's referencing Wiccan, which references his love for his magical wife Wanda, because Wiccan is like a witch magic.
Yeah, and so that this moment of this episode is when Rambeau's character, who I don't remember her in-world name, Geraldine, when it's almost like I think she's like
she knows
an infiltrator,
yeah,
like a spy, but at the same time, I feel like she was like brainwashed as well, because it looked like she snapped out of whatever.
I think so. I think they may have like started it out like, oh, maybe like we'll make you think that you belong in this world, but then you'll start like also kind of like WandaVision, like they know they also thought they were part of this world, but then it's kind of obvious that they don't quite fit in.
Yeah.
So maybe she's like remembering her past just as Wanda and Vision kind of are, especially in this episode. And I mean, she has a whole other identity here. Like her name's Monica Rambo, not Geraldine, which is like one thing that I thought was weird last episode. So she's playing a character for sure. But at first, I think she kind of maybe believed it. I don't know, or maybe she was playing it like a method acting.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It was interesting, but then she mentioned Ultron, and
yeah, well, she's like, "Oh my, your brother wasn't he killed by Ultron?" I'm like, "Girl, don't say that."
And that's what everyone's. Ultron is trending on. It's trending on Twitter.
Yeah, Pietro
because
and
of
Ultron
that.
are both trending right now.
Oh, they are. Well, we know that. Huge spoiler alert for the next 30 seconds. It's been reported that Pietro comes back, or that actor comes back.
Right. There's been a lot of rumors about that because he's not on the cast list. Ultron was, but people are saying either maybe she like wills him into existence, or
well, just like Vision.
Yeah.
Unless Vision is a robot again. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. With Vision, it can kind of go either way. With Pietro, I don't think that they can bring him back literally. It would probably just be like, probably within that world only.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There was also a thing where people were saying that it's the voice actor, like the dub voice actor for Quicksilver, but in the X-Men universe, who's dubbing again. And maybe not this one the same. I don't know if they shared a voice actor with MCU and X-Men movie Quicksilvers because they're completely different actors. So some people are saying Evan Peters is coming in. I'm just like, oh, no, I don't know about that. That'd be weird.
Well, what's funny is the Pietro actor and the Quicksilver actor were both in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
And now they're both playing super speed heroes.
The same character, literally.
Oh, it is? Because it was X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it is the same.
So it's Pietro
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Which I'm kind of curious. I always kind of wondered because Pietro is in like all the X-Men movies, like the newer ones. And then, I mean, his dad is Magneto, but they never mention Wanda. I think they mentioned like, oh, I have a sister or something, but they never bring her up. So I'm just like, what's Wanda in that universe? Or maybe they're gonna, because there's a lot of theories about how the X-Men are gonna be brought in.
Magneto is their dad?
In the certain,
in the X-Men world? Okay, but this one it's not mentioned, or is it mentioned but someone else?
In like the MCU, they're just orphans. They don't mention.
Oh, and they were tested on. Yeah, that's right. They were tested on by Strucker.
Yes,
and that's what that watch meaning had. Okay.
Oh, speaking of the commercials, the Hydra soak. It sounds like the thing is like now I won't be able to see like what's like the Hydra soak. Is it like the oat milk or something? There's something that's like, oh, Hydra soak. It's probably like a soap too or something. I'm just gonna be thinking it's like Hydra. Kind of reminds me of if anyone watching ever watched Kim Possible. Because there's like the thing, I don't know if you watched, if you didn't watch it, the Dr. Draken's brainwashing shampoo and cranium rinse. I just imagine it's like, oh, it's gonna be lather, rinse, and no bay.
Crossover time.
Bring it all together, boy.
So I want to also talk about that. The one cliffhanger, one of the big things of the show is it keeps introducing mysteries and like leaving you on the edge of it, which none have been answered yet. No. None that have been dropped have been answered yet. And that kind of scares me because like when I watched Lost, they would introduce 10 new mysteries and unsolved questions every episode. And by the end of the series didn't answer 90% of them. And I don't think Marvel's going to do that, but it does still, I'm still like in that Lost mentality. But I know it's not going to happen, but it does concern me a little bit considering there's only 9 episodes and it we haven't gotten any answers yet, but I think they're going to wait until maybe 2 more episodes before we start figuring out what is actually going on.
Yeah. The good thing is it is a limited series and they already planned it to be that long. So I think they are going to tie it together and it's probably just going to snowball and accelerate from here on out. And I'm expecting probably like a longer episode. Like maybe the last episode will be like hopefully an hour long or something. Hopefully, because I need the content.
Well, I think it will be because we were looking and we found this show is the highest budgeted show ever made currently. It broke the record. It's $225 million for the budget. That's more than most major movies get. Like the Christopher Nolan movie, I think it was just like 10 million higher than that. So like, and Christopher Nolan has like the highest expensed movies, but that means each episode is $25 million. Is that correct? 250 million divided by 9. I think it's 25 million, which is insane. The highest record before that was Mandalorian, $100 million show with 10 million in that episode.
Now, and for that one, they had to build a whole other
and
way of filming.
So much technology, and this one has been kind of keeping it simple with the sets and the style and costumes. And what I think is going to happen, because the budget is so grand, either we're going to get a lot of special effects and a lot of like big action and stuff, but also I think we're going to see other characters like Nick Fury coming in. I mean, he was working with Sword. I think he's coming in.
Yeah.
I think Captain Marvel might show up too. That's my theory, because Monica Rambeau's here.
Yes.
And she works with Nick Fury. Like they're really close. And also like Brie Larson and Sam Jackson like just love each other in general. Yeah. So I feel like
that's such a cute friendship.
Whenever
so much.
Mace Windu and whatever Jedi.
Chris.
Avar Chris.
But
yeah, so I don't think they've spent much of their budget on these episodes. I think
they're saving it for later.
Because I also mentioned like there's like huge warehouses of like props and costumes that they probably took from to make these costumes. I'm sure they added their own, twist to it and stuff, made it unique. But like the TV sets and the couches, I'm sure they rented props and stuff like that. But I think it's going to get huge. And actually, I don't think we're going to get an hour-long finale or an episode at all, because of how this used to be six episodes, an hour each, and now it's 9. I think at most we'll get like 45, just like the first episode.
Maybe, yeah.
But I want an hour-long episode. That's just fun. Like the Mandalorian season 2 premiere, which was an hour long, or 54 minutes, whatever. But yeah, the one thing I wanted to talk about was the one cliffhanger that really bugged me, and that's when the two neighbors were talking about Vision right in front of them, and then they kind of explained about Rambeau being not from this town, doesn't even have a home, whatever. But the one thing that was left unsaid was they were going to tell him something else, and then she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it," and then they both just left him.
We are or something, right?
Yeah. I was like,
like, do they know they're not real?
I think she was going to say, "Do you know we're dead?" Just like it was in the trailer, but she didn't get the chance to say it yet. Like that lady's not dead, but do you know that like we are, like us, Wanda's not, or something like that? Because remember in the trailer when she was like, "Are you dead?" And he's like, "Why?" Because I am.
Right. Well, I forgot about that. Damn, is everyone dead?
But it was in the trailer, so I mean, that's obviously not a big spoiler or twist.
Right.
Because Marvel loves to misdirect, especially with their trailers. I mean, look at the Hulk situation. But yeah, that one I think is going to get answered in the next one. I think the next one will be that Halloween episode.
I'm so excited. I think so, yeah.
It has to do with like 80s, and it felt like E.T. or like that kind of style movie. But yeah, I think the Halloween one's going to be next, and then the 90s one will be what do you think the 90s one's going to be?
Full House.
Oh. Yeah, it's a good one. That'd be really cool.
It's kind of like Full Housey with like, what's the other one?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh my God, imagine.
Will Smith makes a cameo. That's why the budget's so high.
He takes over Vision. He's like, I'm Vision now.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Tony Stark made me some super powered rays. I don't know.
Oh my God.
That's not how he was made, but I'm just trying to make it rhyme.
Could have been. Well, anyway, that's all I have. I mean, do you have any other thoughts about the show, this episode?
I hope Monica's okay, because she got thrown out the window real hard. It's weird because like in the behind the scenes they showed her going through the walls, and here you don't see her. And I thought like the legs, like the staircase, she might have been like thrown there or something, but she was like fully out of the dome.
Yeah.
I'm just like, girl, you okay? You went down like juice box?
And it's clear Wanda did that.
Yes. And she's like, oh, she had to go real quick. I'm like, girl, I heard like all these theories that like Wanda will go villain technically. And I'm just like, I don't want that. I love her too much.
I could see that happening,
Her
but at the same
snapping.
time, she was already redeemed from a villain.
Exactly.
And that was a pretty major moment in Ultron where where Hawkeye was like, you can stay here and cry, but if you walk out those doors, you're an Avengers. And that was one of my favorite parts from Ultron.
The one good thing Hawkeye ever did.
And he was like, there's monsters and robots, and I got a bow and arrow or something.
Right.
Nothing.
Like the most superpowered woman on Earth, aside from like Captain Marvel. Like the two strongest Avengers, literally.
You know what? This could take place before Endgame. Because in Endgame, she coped with Vision's loss.
Oh.
Remember?
So you think this is why?
Yeah, because I don't think it just doesn't make sense that she would like be okay, like at the end of Endgame when she was like, "Oh, they know that we won. They know they're out there somewhere. They know," and it felt like she was kind of at peace because Hawkeye was at peace.
Yeah.
So this could happen in that 5-year period after Infinity War, leading up to her coping at the end.
That would make sense. Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Every time I keep remembering the Vision's dead and I see them being so cute, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I just want them to be happy.
It's so sad.
They're so precious. She taught a robot how to love. Like,
someone's gonna
so sorry.
have a hard time at the finale.
I know. I'm so scared.
It's gonna be sad.
Strong. I just have a lot of feelings.
But yeah, is that all for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
But till next time, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna be back next week, next Friday, of course, at around the same time, 12:15, whenever we feel like it.
Pretty much.
But yeah, so come back next week and watch the after show, and we're gonna try and make it as fun as possible for you guys. Tell your friends so they know to come look for us. And until then, you know, we also do Star Wars videos on this channel, and there's a podcast of Han Talks First as well, so you can go check those out as well. Another live stream on Monday. You can come check that out and join the fun, join the conversation. But yeah, that's it. That was episode 3 of WandaVision, and excited for next week. So send in your theories on the comments below. Like the video because it helps out a ton. And yeah, until next time, my friends.
Take care.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.